Hey there, it's Timmy, and this is TimmyWA Presents. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching all of our videos this last week. It's been fun. Hope you've enjoyed them and got some good information, or at least some entertainment value out of them. If not, we'll just keep trying, right? All right, so I've teased this a bit. Let's get right into this. I don't want this video to go super long, but let's just talk about Friday the 3rd, okay? Friday the 3rd was a day off from work because it was a holiday, right? July 4th observed is on the 3rd. It was a shopping weekend, so we decided that since all the stores and stuff would probably be closed on Saturday, we'd go Friday. So we went and did our grocery shopping. We went to grocery shopping. We dropped my wife's sewing machine off to get maintenance done, and did a few other errands that took up most of the morning, and got back sometime around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 3, I don't remember exactly. I knew that I had started getting a headache, and I don't usually get headaches, so that's unusual. It happens, but it's not typical. But I was also feeling kind of tired and sleepy, so I decided to take a quick nap just on the couch in the living room, and a couple hours go by. I wake up, it's 5-ish, and I don't feel any better. I don't feel like the headache went away, and just kind of felt yucky. And so I went and took some naproxen. Now I'm allergic to Tylenol, which is acetaminophen, and so I can't take Tylenol. But I wanted to get rid of this headache, and I haven't eaten anything in a few hours, so I just took some naproxen. And kind of laid back down, went to my bedroom and laid down. Started to get like chills. I wasn't cold, I was actually quite warm. And I started this shivering, and I started feeling aches in my upper back and my shoulders. And it kind of felt like I was getting like a flu. I only had a flu a couple times, but I remember those feelings, those kind of achy pains, and the shivering without being cold. And so I was getting a little nervous about that. I took my temperature. Of course, COVID-19 being top of mind on everybody, that's the thing. I wasn't having any other symptoms. I wasn't coughing. I didn't have any congestion. I could still taste things. Like it didn't feel like it was coronavirus, but just wanted to be cautious. So I took my temperature, 97.7 degrees, perfectly normal for me. So I was okay with that. Laid back down, just could not stop the shivering and shaking and the aches. And again, just with everything going on, I was scared. I was getting nervous. And so I talked to Rachel. I said, I don't feel good. I said, I'm shivering and shaking. I don't have a fever, but I feel like I need to go get checked. So let's go to the urgent care. So we went to urgent care. My wife ran in ahead of me and to see if there was anything we needed to do special. They sent us to the ER given the possibility of coronavirus. They didn't have any testing facilities at the urgent care. Went up the street just a little bit to the hospital and checked into the ER. They took my temperature at the door, as they do. They didn't say anything, so still no fever. I checked right before we left the house before, and still no fever. So everything so far, just my headache, the shivers, the aches, like that's what I was feeling, and it wasn't getting better, it was getting worse. I'm also type 2 diabetic, and there was some stuff with some of the doses I was taking of some of my medications, and my doctor had me changed recently, so there's this whole thing, and like all that sort of figured in. And so explained everything to the ER. They hooked me up, they did all the tests, they did blood tests, cultures, a urine test, just try to figure out what's going on. When I first got in there, they checked my temperature and it was 101. So at some point there, in the few minutes between walking into the hospital and getting checked in and put into my room in the ER, I spiked the temperature, 101. And so they were worried. They also hooked me up to the heart monitor, took my vitals. My heart rate was really elevated, so they're concerned about that. And as all the tests that they took started coming back negative, they couldn't see anything was wrong, and other than my condition, obviously. So they were mostly concerned that, one, I was diabetic, two, my heart rate was high and I had this fever. They couldn't say, or they wouldn't say whether they didn't think it was coronavirus. They didn't think it was because I didn't have enough of the other symptoms. So I'm just shivering and shaking, and they just kind of keep me hooked up, and my blood pressure is fine. Everything else is fine. All these stuff started coming back that I was fine. At some point, the shivering kind of settled out. I was still high fever. And they brought in a drink. It was this little bottle of Powerade Zero. And I chugged that. Like, I was thirsty because they had me on some drip for some, because they thought I was a little dehydrated. So they put a little bit of the bag on there. But I just chugged that really cold Powerade, and like 2 swallows for the little thing. And within moments, it kicked up that shivering again because I must have like shocked my system. So I started shivering again, aching. But then soon after that kind of calmed down, I totally broke out in sweats. And I thought, okay, maybe that's my fever breaking. And at some point previously, I didn't mention, they did test my temperature again, and it went up to 103. So that was the high temperature I had at the time. So after the shaking and the sweating, I had them check again, and then I was back down to 98 point something. So I dropped the fever. Now I was in the hospital from about 6-ish till about 11-ish, maybe 7, 11. I don't remember. It was about 4 hours, and just watching TV, kind of waiting. And they said they would give me a COVID test as I was leaving. They wanted to, just make sure they covered the bases. So as soon as my heart rate came down, as soon as my temperature came down, and I was feeling better, I didn't have the headache anymore. I was still kind of achy because all those muscles from shivering. That was the other thing too, is they couldn't give me any more medication because I was allergic to acetaminophen, and I had already taken naproxen, so they couldn't give me anything for fever or pain at the hospital. That was another thing. So anyway, I'm getting wrapped up. The doctor's signing me out, saying, they thought I had an infection, but they ruled that out too. But he gave me he gave me an injection of some antibiotics, and he gave me a prescription for some antibiotics. And he said, we'll do a COVID test on your way out. Call in 2 days or look it up on your app. So they did the swab test, which was crazy. I don't know if you've done it. If you have, man, I feel that. They shove this little tiny thing up, it's like a needle up into your nose, and they swab it around, and then they go up the other side and swab it around. They did it really fast for me. So my wife had one earlier for her surgery, and they did it really long on her. So I think they did mine like really quick for some reason. Anyway, so that was terrible. Went home, went to sleep, woke up, still kind of felt crummy the next day, but not bad, just kind of sore. And then Sunday, first thing in the morning, I call the hospital, the hotline, and they say I'm negative for coronavirus. So yay, negative. So that was good. But what I want to share with you on that, and by Sunday I was 100%. I was fine, and I've been great ever since. But what I want to kind of took away from this, to summarize, is as you know, if you follow me on Facebook or if you know me personally, I've been kind of contrary about the whole virus thing. I haven't been like disbelieving of it, like skeptical that it exists. Like I knew it was a thing, but my opinion was that it was very much overblown, that it wasn't as important or as big as it was being made out to be. And so I had a very contrary opinion of it. I didn't like wearing a mask. I didn't want to wear a mask unless I had to. And as I thought about that experience that night after I came home, and while I was at the hospital in the next couple days, just reflecting on it, I almost felt like it was God sending a warning shot right off the bow. Like, bro, chill out on this. It's real. People are suffering. People are hurting. Just knock it off. And it was like a warning. And so, at that point, I felt humbled. I felt like I was knocked down a few notches, and decided at that point to just kind of be cool about wearing a mask. So ever since then, I've worn a mask everywhere I've gone, out in public, and including bowling, and including shopping and just running in to pick something up, whatever it is. I'm wearing that mask, and I'm not happy about it. It's not an amazing thing. I'm not super cool about it, but it's worth it. And my wife has asked me repeatedly to wear a mask. She's in a health situation where she's considered high risk. I am too, technically, because of diabetes, but I just felt selfish, and I felt like I was being a jerk about it. And so I apologized to my wife, and I apologize to all of you and anybody else who's taken part of my vitriol about the whole thing. But I'm cool now, and I feel better, and I feel more confident that I understand things a little better. And I wish the best for all of you, and hope that nobody that's out there is suffering, or that knows somebody who passed away or suffered from this virus, and it's terrible. So I'll do what I can do. I pledge that. I'll do what I can do, and I'll wear a mask, and I'll be careful. So that's all I wanted to share. It was a really, really scary situation, and I think I felt deep down that I didn't really have the virus all along. But it was scary enough to make me nervous and make me question the whole thing. And grateful that I didn't have it, and grateful that I didn't get it. But I think I felt a little twinge of what that might be like. And so that, like I said, that humbled me, and it brought me down a few notches. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And I encourage you all to just go out and be nice to everybody. Smile, wear your mask. People see the smile in your eyes if they don't see it through your mask. Just do the little things that it takes to be careful and love each other and be careful about each other. And let's go out and let's just be good. All right? That's all I got. If you have questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, put it down below in the comments. Hit me up on Facebook. Like I said, I'll add you as a friend if you request me. I don't care. I'm happy to talk, and let's get into it. Put it in the comments. Let's debate. Let's talk. Let's cheer each other up. Let's cheer each other on. Okay? And subscribe and like and share this video, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.